We're kicking off this year on Dateline Abuja by paying homage to the natives of the nation's capital. We had the rare privilege of attending the 7th annual Cultural Festival of the Gbagi people at the Sakari's Palace in Karu. And the rich cultural display was just mind-blowing. I can't wait to show it to you on our Focus on the FCT. The festival was also an opportunity to speak on the challenges faced by Abuja's natives. And we had to get experts from Abuja's natives to talk to us about these challenges, these injustices they say they've been suffering for years, and their call for political inclusion in matters that affect them. And as we do every week, we update you on the biggest stories from Nigeria's presidency. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dateline Abuja. Hello and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I am Kayla Megwa. Happy New Year and welcome to 2023. Let's begin with some of the major stories from Nigeria's seat of power.
President Muhammadu Buhari has signed into law the 2023 appropriation bill with a total expenditure of 21.83 trillion naira, along with the 2022 supplementary appropriation bill into law at the council chamber. President Buhari noted that the bill he signed is an increase of 1.32 trillion naira on the initial 20.51 trillion naira he had presented to the federal lawmakers. The president stated that he signed it as passed by the National Assembly to enable the immediate commencement of its implementation, considering the imminent transition process to another democratically elected government. The president explained that the 2022 Supplementary Appropriation Act would enable the administration to respond to the havoc caused by the recent nationwide floods on infrastructure and agriculture sectors.
Considering the imminent transition process to another democratically elected government, I decided to sign the 2023 Appropriation Bill into law as passed by the National Assembly to enable its implementation to commence without delay. I have, however, directed the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning to engage with the legislature to revisit some of the changes made to the executive budget proposal.
The federal government is determined to stop the payment of fuel subsidy by the end of June 2023, and that's according to the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed. The minister disclosed this during the public presentation and breakdown of the 2023 federal government budget. According to the minister, the government has made provisions of 3.36 trillion naira for fuel subsidy payment in the first 6 months of this year.
The projected fiscal outcomes in the 2023 budget is based on petroleum subsidy reform ratio. And that is to say, in the 2023 framework, we had assumed, and the National Assembly had approved, that the petroleum subsidy will remain up to the middle of 2023, based on the 18 months extension announced early in 2022. In this regard, only 3.36 trillion has been provided for PMS subsidy in the 2023 budget.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the deployment of technology to combat security in the southeast. Governor Hope Uzodinma made the disclosure today after a private meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari in his office. The governor stated that the approved technology, expected to be deployed immediately, consists of surveillance equipment, amongst other things, to potentially control crime and insecurity with minimal collateral damage. He further maintains that he is not responsible for the insecurity in Imo State because the challenge is not peculiar to his state. Chairman of the National Assembly Constitution Review Committee, Senator Ovie Omo-Agege, has disclosed that the issue of local government autonomy bill is one of the biggest challenges in the ongoing review of the 1999 Constitution and remains a priority to the executive arm. Senator Omo-Agege disclosed this to State House correspondents after a private meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari in his office. The need to prioritize the security and welfare of National Youth Service Corps members who will be participating in the forthcoming general elections took center stage as the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, meets with the acting director general of the National Youth Service Corps, Mrs. Christy Uba, in Abuja. The INEC chairman told Mrs. Uba that the commission would be needing the services of many corps members during the elections because of the increased introduction of technology. While assuring the INEC chairman of its continued support, Mrs. Uba appeals to the electoral umpire to scale up the remuneration of corps members who will participate in the exercise. The former Deputy Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Mr. Alibiu, has been officially decorated as the new Corps Marshal of the Corps, making him the second person to rise to the post of Corps Marshal in the history of the agency. Speaking to journalists after the brief decoration ceremony, which was held in Abuja at the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Biu stated the preparedness of the Corps to play its part in the general elections in February.
Welcome back. I'm trying to learn a few words in Gbagi, and I'm failing very badly. But give me some time, I'll get better. It was nice to watch the cultural displays of the Gbagi people on January the 2nd at the Palace of the Sakaruyi in Karu. The Gbagi are just one of the tribes native to the nation's capital. And while we were blown away by the cultural displays, there are problems affecting these natives, which they believe must be handled immediately. Please watch this. The Sakaruyi Palace in Karu, Abuja plays host to the Gbagi natives who are celebrating the 7th annual cultural festival themed My Culture and I. The Gbagi are one of the native tribes of the nation's capital. They are peaceful, agriculturalists, artistic, and Nupoid-speaking people living in the north-central geopolitical zone of Nigeria, predominantly found in Niger, Kaduna, Nasarawa, Kogi, and the Federal Capital Territory. This festival is an opportunity for the natives to display their cultural wares and perform some of their traditional rites. Attendees and leaders of the Gbagi community speak on the importance of preserving the Gbagi culture.
This tradition is almost fading away, and if we don't revive it, that means a time or a day is coming. You could not even see Gbagi speaking tribe again. So with this, it's reviving us, renewing us into our, traditional tribes and culture. And for us to also know that God has blessed Gbagi man. We have 5 states in Nigeria: Kaduna, Niger, Kwara, Bedna, Kogi, part of Kwara, Bedna, Kogi, Plateau, Bedna, Nasarawa State, and FCT. So you find out that the northern headquarters follow us in Kaduna. And after that, the nation's capital has again followed us. So can you see that God is bringing us, up into history, which we don't have to, we have to boost it so that the whole world will know about it.
It is very, very important for the people of Gbagi culture in order to teach our younger generation what Gbagi is. In many places today, you see a Gbagi man, you will speak a language with him, he cannot answer you because he doesn't even know what greetings means. Greetings, only common you said good morning with Gbagi culture. You cannot say it. Therefore, we are calling the people of Gbagi culture that we shouldn't forget our tradition. We should come and then learn.
I could remember when I was young, it is a day like this that I come and I learn some things. You were here when we asked 1 or 2 people here, what's the name of this in your language? And they could not answer. But today is a privilege where we come together and we share together and we recognize, even those that we are not at home for long. Today is an important day where we come together and we share, more especially, things that are missing in our dialects. Most special things, if you ask me now, what's the name of this I'm putting on my language? I may answer you correctly. But if you ask our younger ones, they will not know. So today is a special day where we assemble all our sons and daughters to come together and learn so many items in our language.
The peace-loving, transparent nature of the Gbagi is legendary in these parts. Northerners are fond of saying in Hausa language, Muishi Gwari Gwari, meaning let's do it like the Gbagi, an inference that the situation be handled with simplicity. The indigenous inhabitants of Abuja are the Gbagi, Basa, Wandara, Gede, Dibo, Nupe, and Koro. The plight of the Gbagi people has been a bone of contention for decades since Abuja was declared Nigeria's federal capital in December of 1991, dislocating natives who had occupied the territory for over 4,000 years. The result of the dislocation was the removal of people from their ancestral homes, from spiritual symbols such as Zuma Rock, seeing their ancestral land be referred to as no man's land. Issues about adjusting to the new environment given to them by the government, and almost no political representation. These issues are discussed at the festival, with the Commissioner for the Public Complaints Commission of the FCT, Honorable Ezekiel Dalhatu, advocating for the establishment of the Federal Capital Territory Indigenous Peoples Commission and the integration of 858 communities into the city's master plan.
Go to Asokoro, go to Wuse, and go to Maitama today, you will see no evidence of people who lived there before. So if it continues like that, it means we will completely be pushed away in our own fatherland. And our culture will be wiped away. Go strongly on government to help in preserving the culture. Because culture is the only thing that shows decency, decorum, and teach our children the way to go. Not the modern way. If you go to other places like in Canada, I went recently, they have Indigenous People Development Commission. Indigenous People Development Commission, and their responsibility is to protect the cultural identity of the indigenous people in Canada, and they take care of their school without paying, they take care of their health free of charge. We can do the same. Since we are copying white people, where are we copying the negative things and leaving the remaining thing? Let's copy this and have FCT Indigenous People Development Commission. As we speak, we have Niger Delta Development Commission. Niger Delta Development Commission. What did they do? They take care of the indigenous people of Niger Delta because they are taking oil from their land. As we speak, we have Northeast Development Commission. Northeast Development Commission. What did they do? They are rebuilding structure that were destroyed by Boko Haram. They are giving them money, they are empowering them, and giving them free education.
We have very few representatives against other states. First of all, Senator Aduda alone is not enough to lobby 108 senators, while other states have like three senators, and then House of Representatives we have just 2. So we can never feel well represented in such a situation, because no matter how they strive, no matter how they try, they cannot be able to do good enough to meet up with the yearnings of the federal capital city as such of Abuja. We feel marginalized, we feel deprived, we feel excluded. The federal government have refused to attend to us, our plight. And we have always said, it is a timing bomb when you don't address the plight of FCT natives. It is not good for us not to be treated as equal citizens. The Constitution have it clearly that there is no superior Nigerian more than the other. We are all Nigerians. We should be given such opportunity.
The dilemma between the need for development of communities and the compensation for natives of those communities who may be displaced because of development is one that is faced all over the world, and governments typically come up with ways of ensuring natives are not excluded from governance. Natives of the nation's capital believe they are being ignored and are calling on the federal government to give proper consideration to them and help them have a sense of belonging and equal representation as their counterparts enjoy in other states in the North Central. My guests on the program are leaders among the natives of Abuja. Pastor Danladi JG is the president of the Original Inhabitants Development Association of Abuja. And Dr. Matthew Dada is the director, Center for Community Development at the University of Abuja. Both men are of the Gbagi extraction and have been advocating for better representation of the natives in politics. They are angry with the narrative that Abuja is no man's land. They want a constitutional amendment where Abuja's 6 area councils are treated as local government areas. They also want the government to honor the judgment of the Court of Appeal 5 years ago. Please watch this. Pastor JG, Dr. Dada, welcome to Dateline Abuja.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me in this August television.
I mean, were you at the palace in Karu for the cultural day?
Yeah, I couldn't make it to that occasion.
Yeah.
For other engagements.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic display.
Yeah, I know.
I've seen Gbagi displays before, but this one was spectacular. We had these hunters, I was wondering why they were in black. Why they painted their bodies black. They said it's so that they can mask themselves in the night when they are going hunting. It was interesting to see there was this calabash thing that they were doing with fire. There was another one they were doing with water. The Gbagi people have a rich culture, and you're both Gbagi. There's a lot of anger, like you've been treated unjustly. Just to expand a bit on it, Doctor, what's really going on?
Honestly, when I want to talk about the challenges and the problems we are facing as a result of the shaky foundation that the FCT was actually created, I get so emotional about it. I feel so bad. I feel so sad that somebody could come to say that FCT was a virgin land. However, can a place be virgin? I cannot actually fathom what they actually meant by FCT being virgin. And I guess this is where the problem of FCT, the problem of the original inhabitant started from, because there was no proper record, there was no proper documentation of the villages, of the communities that were existing right before the coming of the FCT. And that keeps us away from getting things right up to today.
The Federal Capital Territory Administration keeps knocking this narrative. They keep saying that that the natives were settled.
You see, if you talk about settling natives, who settled the natives? Who settled them? Is the federal government?
Was there any settlement?
They claim they settled some people, but you cannot even trace record where people were settled.
Let me come to you, Pastor.
Yes.
Because this is something that has been an issue. I tried to buy a piece of land. Someone who is an FCT native tells me, this is ancestral land. This land belongs to my ancestors. I buy the land. I start to build. The Federal Capital Territory Administration comes and demolishes my building and tells me that there is no such thing as land owned by natives in the FCT. Every single piece of land here belongs to the FCT administration. You're supposed to go to Aegis and find out who actually owns that land. They said all of this has been done. Is this true? Let's just get that clear so people can understand.
Every part of the villages in Nigeria belong to those people who live in that villages.
So you're saying the FCT administration is lying?
It's not the FCT administration alone. You see, look at something. When did the Land Use Act came to existence? It's in 1978. 1978. 1976 was the broadcast. 1978 was the broadcast of the Land Use Act. Yeah. And Land Use Act stipulated that 36 states of Nigeria, the land is held in trust for the people of the 36 states in the hand of the governor of those 36 states. But in the case of the Federal Capital Territory, that the entire country agree that they have vested the entire land to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the head of state and the vice president are the governor and the deputy governor of the FCT. And yet, that he can give the place to work for him by anybody who is called a minister. from anywhere, provided that that person is an indigent of the 36 states that have come to be. How do you work things like this?
Let me correct this impression of
Certainly.
People being settled. You know, even as we speak, this does happen sometimes. This issue that people look at, that people were settled. Sometimes when development extends to a particular place, the government acquires that particular site that they want to develop. Mm-hmm. And the people within that locality may be given some peanuts in the name of settlement.
Did this happen at all?
It's not in all. Not in all.
But
all places.
But it did happen.
It is happening now. It is happening.
So as long as that has happened.
Yeah. But I'm still trying to tell you that, what I'm trying to say is that there are still land that were never settled.
Let's talk a bit about that court case that you had.
Yeah.
The one that you won.
Yeah.
I found out recently that the government had not adhered to
January 15th, 2018 was the date that the court gave its ruling. That
just so you can give us an idea of what the case was about.
Yeah, the case is about political inclusiveness, that FCT should be given a state status. Therefore, if FCT is treated as a state, we should have equal political representation at federal level, just like other states.
Since then, has there been any improvement since then?
Not at all. It has not been obeyed. That judgment has not been obeyed.
Some will say that it behoves on you, as the people, as the natives of the FCT, to present people who can be voted into these offices.
It is not only about voting.
You want appointments.
Appointment. Well. And the voting too, it has to do with delineation of wards to local government, creation of more local government. If you don't have more local government, as it is now, we can only present 6 people to be elected into the office of local government chairman. Which other election do we do? Except for House of Representative, National House of Rep. We don't have. And then 1 senator, whereas some other states are having 3 senatorial seats, we only have 1. So what we are saying in essence is that there should be political inclusiveness.
I want to get your closing remarks.
My closing remark is, Nigeria, please change Nigerian constitution. If you cannot change the constitution, please, next government coming, carry 2014 National Delegate Conference. That our project all was captured. But Nigerian 8 years have been wasted. Nothing took place about FCT, original inhabitants and the natives. It was captured in the National Constitutional Conference issue. It was not there because FCT by law should be 37 states of Nigeria. And Nigerians gather and divide money into 37. The 37th goes to Federal Capital Territory, who nobody account for it. And that is the food and the dining. And that is what we had today.
Thank you so much for being with us on Dateline Abuja. And good luck with all the stuff that you do.
We just pray that good luck will be that we should remove us, give us identity. We belong here. This land belongs. Nobody was compensated. We are here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thanks to my guest and to everyone who spoke to us today on the program. This is definitely a conversation that must be had over and over again. Isolating natives or excluding them from governance can only breed resentment, and that can spiral into all kinds of things. Many of us in Abuja had just believed that the natives were settled and relocated as the city continued to develop. We believed that their culture was being preserved alongside this development, and that the area councils were getting allocations and being treated as local government areas. It did strike us odd that Abuja natives in the National Assembly occupied just 3 seats, 2 in the House of Representatives and 1 in the Senate. And there has never been an FCT minister who is from Abuja. Actually, there has never been a federal minister who is a native of Abuja. Hopefully, the government listens this time and helps reduce the anger of the natives and grant them at least some of their demands. That's Dateline Abuja this week. Please let us know the happenings in your neighborhood using the social media handles showing right now on your screens. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kayla Megwa. See you next time.